to say.
I was I would not have been surprised.
I played the same one this year. The skateboarding one?
No, you didn't play for us.
I didn't?
No.
Maybe because I figured you guys had already seen it. I don't know. All right, good morning, e-learners.
There's only 4 of us in here.
I could show it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, now clearly you guys already saw the answers to the worksheet. So I'm just going to say, how many people did more than 10 of them?
I don't know.
I'm just going to say the people that did more than 10, right, rose to the challenge, and I'm going to say they're going to do fine on the test. I can't encourage you anymore to self-regulate on this. If you're literally that lazy, right, that when the teacher says, you know, hey, I need you to do this, and you refuse to do it, and then, you know, 3 days later, we'll take the test on Friday. You fail the test will literally look exactly like what's in front of your face for these questions. I made it last night. I didn't change anything. It's going to be those 3 flavors right there, 2 questions apiece. If you did the worksheet last night, I didn't say you had to do the whole thing. I said you need to do as many until you feel comfortable. If that was 1 and you're not a genius, I'm just saying you're letting yourself down. Please make use of the resources. So I am going to collect it. Go ahead, Seth. Grab it. But I'm also not going to, since there's the answers, I'm not going to call out the answers because, well, you already knew the answers. We're going to do the same thing today, right? We're going to do 1 more review day. I didn't want to have, you know, go through this entire chapter and not do a review day on those 4 basic ideas. Angle relationships, exterior angle theorem, triangle angle theorem, polygons, and are 2 lines parallel or not? How do you prove they're parallel? So I wanted to make sure we did that and give you at least enough time that you would be confident. A lot of times you reach that level of uncertainty, like I'm giving you too much information. You didn't get a chance to process it. No, wrong one. Not this one.
What?
It's pretty out. You collect the homework. I'll
There's
hand things out.
no clear bins.
Right. Maybe I should lay them. I figured that you were going to be able to look at it and figure out which one was the geometry, but I guess I was asking too much. The one that says geometry.
Oh, it says geometry, does it? Fine.
All right. Okay, so here's what we're going to do today. Unlike yesterday, I'm handing you the packet to start with. So for the students that were like, yesterday was painful, I already knew this stuff, I'm giving you the packet ahead of time. If you're not that student right now, if you can't tell me the exterior triangle theorem, if you can't tell me by heart what are the formulas for internal and external angles of a polygon, then you need to pay attention to the review. It's not a new class, it's just a review. But if you're one of those students who are like, I already got this stuff, then absolutely there is your review sheet. All right, so I'm going to go over everything. I gave you the worksheet with the answers, and then I'm giving you the normal paper that's going to have a couple practice problems on them to show you how to do the entire worksheet. If you show up on Friday without your book of truth, I would rather you put an F on your paper and just say, I'm going to save you the time, Mr. C, of grading my test because I know I failed.
Can I do that?
Do not show up without your book of truth. You're not going to remember some of these things. So, here we go. We're only going to cover basically 2 ideas, but those 2 ideas incorporate 6 things. So we're going to do a final review today. I will introduce you to brand new stuff tomorrow. Most kids do not struggle on the stuff. It's called inductive reasoning. Most people don't struggle on 3.6 at all. They get the idea. There's not much to remember. And then we'll do a full chapter review. It'll seem like a repeat of what we just did the last 2 days on Thursday, and then take the test on Friday. I will not be here. No, I will be here on Friday. I won't be here for the last period for Friday. Okay, so worksheet's already in front of you. That's your homework. Once again, I gave you, I don't know, how many did I give you? 50, I believe, something like that. Yeah, I gave you 50 of these things. I didn't want to give you one example or even two examples. I wanted to give you enough examples so that you could, I don't know, create assurance in yourself that I am doing it right. I know what I'm doing. Two examples, maybe you got lucky on one of them. I give you 10 examples and you do 10 of them. You can be confident that you got the concept and you've mastered it and you can feel it. And I'm going to say again, what's in front of your face right now is the test. This is what it will look like for these two things. Yesterday's was what it's going to look like for, you know, the relationship of two angles formed by parallel lines cut by transversal. What's in front of you right now will look like what the questions will be for the external angle theorem, triangle angle theorem, and the angles of polygons. Here we go. The key idea number one, the first thing I introduced to you is the fact that for any triangle, at least in our geometry, what's the sum of 1 plus 2 plus 3? Everybody? 360? 180, right? So this is theorem 311, which simply says that you take any triangle and you add up not the external, but the internal angles, you get 180 degrees. Yes? Sure. Okay? That was key idea number one for any triangle. We will use this the entire year, many, 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 many times. All right, key idea number two is this. If I have a triangle, right, with internal angles 1, 2, and 3, and I extend any one of the sides, right, I make a new angle. This angle right here, I'll call it angle 4. We call angle 4 the, somebody? We call it the external angle. It's the external angle to the triangle. So we call angle 4 the exterior angle. We call 1, 2, and 3 the internal angles, but we give a special name to the two angles that are not adjacent, but that are opposite the exterior angle. This is critical that you can look at the picture and identify the two external or two remote interior angles. You're like, well, why is that hard? It's not hard, but I will see kids make a mistake. That if I give you an exterior angle, they can't find the two remote interior angles. Stop me now if you're still having an issue with this. This is what half of this entire section is about. Okay. So if you can identify that, we got a theorem from this, and we proved it. And what we proved, this is 3, 2. See the ones in red? Exterior angle, what do we know about the relationship between 4, 1, and 2? What do we know about that relationship? Bailey? What's the relationship between 4, 1, and 2? Okay. So anybody else want to admit that I don't know the relationship? All right. Critical that you understand that relationship. So maybe it needs to be big, bold, and highlighted. This is going to be, I don't know, a fifth of the test. The relationship, am I helping out? What's the relationship between 4, 1, and 2? Say again? Nope. Go ahead. 1 and 2 add up to 4. And I don't mean literally 1 plus 2 is 4. I mean angle 1 plus angle 2 equals angle 4. This is called the external triangle theorem. External triangle angle theorem. External angle of a triangle theorem. There, I got it right. Third time. Which says that the external angle of a triangle is equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. Which is why I just asked you, could you look at it and identify which is the external and which are the two remote interior? You got to be able to identify those. Notice my picture, right? I'm only using one of 3 exterior angles. I also could have said, extended this line. And then we have angle 5. I also could have extended that angle and got angle 6. Do you see that? Now we're going around the room. Karis, you're up first. Pick one of the external angles, any one of them. External means on the outside. Pick any one of them. Which one? 4. Give me the two remote interior angles to 4. Pick one. Am I? Okay. give me, Chandler, the two remote internal angles to 6. Okay, pick one, Madison. Danny, she said 5. Give me the two remote interior angles to 5. So she said 5, that's the external. Give me the two remote to 5. I don't mean close 5. I mean farthest away. 4 is an external. This says interior. There's 2 of them. Okay, 3 and 2. If you can't do that, you're not going to get this stuff. All right. Matt, pick one of the remote angles. Give me one. I'm sorry, one of the external angles. 6. Chris, you're up. What are the two remote to 6? Which one? 3 and 1. Very good. All right. I'm not going to call on everybody. That I went through the people that I need to ask. We got this or not? Danny, here's what I would do. I would draw this picture and maybe make color codes or list every possibility. This is the only way the picture's going to look unless I turn it sideways. The numbers are still going to be just like that. In order to use this theorem, you got to be able to identify the external angle and the two remote interior angles. Last time, we good? Because we can't do that, the rest doesn't matter. Okay, Connor, give me an example of a remote or external and the two interior. You got this, right? So as long as you can do that, you can do the rest. Because the rest, right, comes in the same 3 flavors as yesterday. The first one, we'll call it vanilla. They're just going to give you numbers. That's it. Everything will be a number, no variables involved. So there's the numbers. Amaya, what's the equation? You can literally read 311 and just tell, or is it 312? 312, sorry. You can literally read 312 and just read it and fill in the numbers. Which one's the exterior angle? Keep talking. Which ones are the two remotes? And we're going to put an X in for question mark. So tell me the equation. I choose to write it as one to the opposite, but you, perfect. Could you solve that? Okay, so then we solve that, we get to an answer. Questions? You got to be, this is as easy as it gets right here, right? Occasionally they could have this third number here to try to confuse you, right? Would you be confused if there was a number right here? Right? Probably not, because exactly what Amaya said. She flipped over to the 312 and she read it, and then it says the sum of the two internal are equal to the remote, right? All right. Okay, let's try it. Do you see an external angle there? 85 is on the outside of the triangle. That's what makes it external. Theorem 312 says that that angle is equal to the sum. Sum means what, Danny? What? Sum means not subtract. Sum means add. Add the two remotes. Which ones are the two remotes? You got it right. 20 and. Okay. So can you write the equation now? You have everything you need. What's the equation? Equals. That's perfect. If you can do that, you can get to the answer. And then, Danny, could you solve that equation? Everybody solve that equation?
Oh, wait, yeah, I'll write it down.
You know, I'm not even asking what the answer. I'm saying, could you solve that equation? Okay, good, because that's how you get to the answer. Oh no, that comes next. All right. So, easy one, yes? All right. Hey, if it was me, and I'm saying this is on the test, and it's on definitely this worksheet that Jen is almost done with, right? I would absolutely maybe put a highlight or something like that in your book of truth so that you don't, I mean, this is the easy stuff, okay, when it's like this. The other flavors are a little bit more challenging. All right, Seth, give me the equation for this one. This box 2, by the way. Give me the equation.
Oh, 35 plus 85 equals.
Okay, could you solve that?
Yeah.
Yeah, no big deal, right?
Addition.
I would hope so. All right, so here comes the one that Danny was saying, right? Is this one literally any different than the previous one? It's got variables, that's the difference, right? But is the procedure any different? Procedure is not any different. So Matt, what's the equation?
2x plus 2
Plus 20.
2x plus 20 plus 34 equals 7x.
If you can do the previous one, you can at least set this up, yes? I said this would get you to a C if you set it up correctly. What gets you to the A for the problem is to, well, you got to solve that. All right, basic algebra. We always simplify the left side, then the right side. Is there anything to simplify on the left side? Any like terms on the right side? What? Karis, what? When we add those together, we get that. Now what, Karis? Once you have both sides simplified, now what? Second step is always move variables. Once you simplify both sides, move. You want to move the 7x or the 2x? Always move the smaller. How do you move the 2x? How do you get rid of it? When I say move, I mean technically how do you get rid of it from this side? Well, divide to get rid of the 2, but it wouldn't get rid of the x. Oh, you got an apple on your desk. How do you get rid of it? You eat it, you subtract it, right? So we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. You're in geometry now. I do not write the steps for algebra and geometry, or in algebra, if you have me for algebra 2 next year. We're past writing the individual steps. We just basically do the algebra. Okay? If I subtract 2x from both sides, what am I left with? Okay, and then the 2x went away on the other side. Now what? Just tell me what to do, I'll do it for you. Okay, that gives you 60, now what? That gives you 12. Okay, it says not calculate the angle, it says find what x is. If you can set up the equation correctly, you're gonna pass the test. If you mess up the algebra, you're gonna lose some points. You're still gonna pass the test, right? I would hope by the end of the year that we're not messing up this algebra. I mean, this is what, your 3rd year of looking at equations? We did equations like this in pre-algebra. We did equations like this in Algebra 1. We're going to do equations like this in geometry and Algebra 2, and if you take pre-calculus your senior year, right? If you take statistics in senior year, if you don't want to take pre-calc, you'll see equations like this in statistics as well, too. You should be able to solve that. Okay? Jenna? Set up the equation.
4x plus 6 plus 4x plus 6 equals 1.
If you can do that, you're going to get a C. Well, by the way, you'd have to do that on every single problem, right, and not make any other mistakes to get the C, right? Okay, could we solve this one? Connor, what are we doing first? I always look at the left side. Anything to group together on the left side? Anything to group together on the right side? What? 4x and 6, they're like terms?
4x and 4x.
Okay, 4x and 4x, and then also
6.
Okay, so we group those together. 4x and 4x is 8x. 6 and 6 is 12. Yes? Talk me through it. That's 88. That's 11. Okay? Yes? Solve. Oh, wait, that's not what it says. What does it say? It says find the angle. We're not done. We're just getting started, right? Bailey, what am I going to do now? It says find the measure of angle W. What did we just solve? So anytime I see an X, what can I write? Where is angle W? There it is, right? So guess what I'm really asking here? Don't look at me, look at the board or your paper. How big is angle W? What's it literally say? What did we just do? So therefore, could you figure that out? What should I write? Okay, now what do I got to do? Don't overthink this. What do I need to do? So I think you can do that one, which is, so how big is angle W? 50, make sure you put the degree symbol, right? And you're done. Yes? Okay, so external angle of a triangle theorem. We got this, or we need to do more? Because I gave you, I don't know, 12 of these more on each flavor tonight for homework. I think that's right. Yes? Okay, we're moving on. So the last thing we're going to review is the key idea number 3, which is this thing about polygons. Remember, polygons mean segments joined at their endpoints on a flat surface, and it's closed, meaning you can't get to the inside of it. Okay? Poly meaning many, gon means angles, many angles or many corners. Here is the thing I'm going to warn you right now. On the test, I'm going to use these words. On the test, I'm going to use these words. Do you got them memorized? You got them in your notes?
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, you're good. Chandler, you got them memorized? Good. Because I would hate for you to miss the question because you don't know what a heptagon is. I think that means 11 sides. No, it doesn't. It means 7 sides, right? Okay, so I have this up here just to remind you. It's I'm not going to ask you to name anything on the test, but just remember to name any polygon. We pick any one of the corners, and we either go clockwise, say all the letters, all the corners, or we go counterclockwise and say all the vertices. That's what a corner is. But what is going to be on the test is something about these things called regular polygons. So once again, review. Equilateral means side, equal sides. An equilateral polygon is one where all the sides are the same measurement. They're all, 5 centimeters long. An equiangular is one where all the angles are the same. Hey, they're all 120. If you combine these two ideas, all the sides are the same, all the angles are the same, we make what's called a regular polygon. Why that's important? Because our formulas involve regular polygons. Regular polygon, this was my mistake in high school, is that I, for some reason, thought it meant the sides are the same as the angles. It doesn't mean that if the angle is 120, the side is 120. The side could be anything. But as soon as you know the measure of one side, all the sides are the same measurement. Okay? So I'm going to give you the formulas for regular polygons. Key idea number 3 says that if you have the external angle of any polygon, remember all of these would be the external angle, we have a formula to calculate what they would all add up to. You got that one memorized? I know some of you probably do. What's the formula? Madison?
For the interior and the exterior.
Interior.
N minus 2.
So Wes has it memorized, the rest of us don't. So the rest of us, we better know how to find it in our notes. There's 4 of these formulas that you need to use on the test, right? Here they are. 4 of them. One of them isn't even a formula, it's just a number. But you gotta be able to 100% understand what the formula means, how to use it, and then the definition of it. Typically what happens is I'll get a kid, they'll say, yes, I got this. They won't read the question carefully and they'll use the wrong formula. There's 4 of them. The first 2 have to do with the sum of the angles. The sum of the interior or the sum of the exterior. Sum of the exterior is easy. It's just one number, 360 every time. The sum of the interior is what Wes said, n minus 2 times 1/8. And it's a quantity, n minus 2. So it's in parentheses. Can you use a calculator on the test? So don't be afraid of big numbers. I'm going to give you large numbers. I'm going to give you a 400-sided polygon. Who cares? you got a calculator, no big deal. If you don't bring a calculator, shame on you. You're doing it by hand. Okay. The other two formulas, these bottom two right here, I don't see too many people checking their notes to make sure this is in your notes. I assume you're looking at it right now in your notes. Okay, good. The other two, and you got to read carefully. The question can be written a couple different ways. It's either going to say, what is the measurement of one internal angle? Or it's going to say, what is the measurement of one external angle of a pentagon, or a heptagon, or a 20gon, 20 G-O-N, 20gon. It also might say, what is the measurement of a internal angle? It's the same question. Do you think you can figure out whether they're asking for all or one just by reading the question? You're going to have to, right? So be careful. Be careful. I'd hate for you to miss the question because you just simply read the instructions wrong. If it asks for a angle or the measurement of one or the measurement of the internal angle, they're asking you to use one of these bottom two. And then you got to read carefully because internal and external look really close together. Interior or exterior are just off by a couple letters. It's easy to make this mistake. Okay, you ready to see some? All right, here we go. Karis, read it loudly. Are they asking for one or are they asking for all of them? How do you know all of them? Angles is plural. What else? It says find the measure of the sum. Sum would mean you're more than one, right? You're adding more than one. That's how angles is a good one, though. So, Karis, which formula are we going to use? Is it interior or exterior? Okay, so which formula? So now you have the formula. Now you just got to figure out how many sides. Connor, how many sides? How did you get that? Octagon. If it's not in your notes or you don't have it memorized, you are screwed when it comes to the test, right? Because I'm going to use the words, right? If you don't know what a hexagon is and you think it's 8, then you just got the question wrong. All right, so we got the 2 bits of information. Kara said it's n minus 2 times 180. Connor said it's got 8 sides, so we just plug in 8 for n. Is that something you could do by yourself, especially if you have a calculator? No big deal. So this one's 840. Yes? All right. Maya, read it. This is box 6, by the way.
Find the measure of
Hey, are we finding one or are we finding all of them?
all.
How do you know that? Plural, angles, sum. All right. Are we finding interior or exterior? So which formula? Okay. How many sides? Okay. If you see that right there, 14 got means 14 corners or 14 angles. That means it's got 14 sides. So all we got to do what, Amaya, is what? Just plug in 14 for n and do the math, right? Right. Big number. Don't be afraid, you got a calculator. Chris, read it. Good job, man. Are we finding one or are we finding all of the angles? How do you know one? Because it says one. You know, why is he making a big deal of this? I'm telling you, if you don't read it carefully, you could easily assume that, oh, it's just that n minus 2 times 180. So we're finding one. Now look at your sheet, Chris. We're finding one interior angle. What's the formula? We're finding one interior. Look at your sheet, wherever you have it written. Book of Truth, wherever you have this knowledge, you got to tell me the formula. I got to find one interior angle of a decagon. That'll be my next question. Danny, you have the formula already? Perfect, Chris. Danny, did you already have it before you had it? Okay. You have to be able to do this task. It's not that you, hey, I can read it and know that that's one angle, but if you don't have that formula, if it's not findable in your notes, right, you're not going to be able to get to the answer. All right, Danny, how many sides of the shape? Yeah. Okay, look at your notes. Find the word decagon and tell me how many sides. 10. So where do I put the 10, Danny? Anywhere I see an N, I'm going to write 10, yes? Could you do that math by yourself? Okay. So for the rest of us, hey, there's a couple different ways of doing this after you do 10 minus 2. I'm not saying you have to. I mean, we could reduce the fraction if we wanted to. But if you got a calculator, do you know how to type this into your calculator? Could you type it in your calculator with parentheses? Okay, tell me how. Haley, how would you type this? I'll go back one. How would you type that into your calculator? I'm assuming you have a graphing calculator, yes? You need a graphing calculator. You need a graphing calculator. Right? Harris, how do we type that into our graphing calculator? You have a graphing calculator, yes? How do we type it in? I can't hear you. So you're just going to do 10 minus 2?
No.
What are we going to do? All right. I heard nothing. All I heard was mumble, 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 mumble. Can you do it one more time and do it louder, please?
I would do
You do one step at a time. You can certainly do this. The power of the graphing calculator, you can do the whole darn thing in one shot. And it will look the way it's supposed to on your graphing calculators. Grab your calculators, those of you that have been doing this. Type that in. Hit enter. The screen will look like this. If you literally type it in the way that it appears on your graphing calculator, right? Let's see, open parentheses, 10 minus 2, close the parentheses, times 180, division bar means what? Divided by 10, right?
Mine said exit. It errored on me.
Well, I have no idea what you did wrong. Try it again. You got the times 180. It says 10 minus 2. Now you have to understand that means times 180. I will say on a TI-84, you don't even have to put that multiplication symbol. On a Casio, you do. So it's calculator dependent. All right. Long story short, we get 144 degrees. Yes? For those of you who did it? All right. Hey, what's the sum of the exterior angles of any polygon? It's a trick question. If it says the sum of the external angles of any polygon, there's no formula. It's just 360. So guess how many times I'm going to ask this on a test?
1.
0. It's a trick question. There's nothing to do, right? Instead, I'm going to probably ask you what?
1 exterior.
One exterior angle. Okay? So, read it, Chandler.
Find the measure of the sum of one exterior angle of the deck.
Okay, what's the formula? If you don't have this memorized, you better be able to find it in your notes. Well, it's a different formula, so I'll get a different answer.
360 divided by n.
In this case, n is
10.
n is 10. So this is just 360 divided by 10. I don't need a calculator. The answer is
36.
okay. Yes? All right. The sheet of paper that you have in front of you has 50 questions. Each section has somewhere between, I don't know, 8 and 12 problems. I've given you enough to confirm or deny you know what you're doing. You're getting them all wrong because the answers are on the back. You need to ask me for help, right? If you're getting them all right, then you can drive on, right? If you're getting them all right and you're on number 10, you can probably stop. You probably don't need to do 12 of them. But if you're getting 2 right and then 1 wrong and then 2 right and 1 wrong, do all of them, right? You do the first 10 and you got them all right, yeah, go to the next section. You don't need to do all 12 unless you want to. They're kind of fun if you're a math person. But please confirm yourself that you know what you're doing. You know when you reach that point of like, why in the world do I have 6 more to go? I got this. Micah, how many did you do? Okay. I'm going to let you be the captain of your own boat, right? If you want to sail your ship upon the rocks of failure, drive on, right? You get to make that decision. You're 10th graders, right? Literally, you're making decisions right now on my life when you drive your car. Well, do I keep it between the lines or do I kind of like swerve a little bit? So you're making life and death decisions right now, many of you that are driving. So you are allowed to make decisions in math of, well, how much do I want to study? How much do I don't? If you fail, you're setting that course yourself for summer school. You're going on the SS summer school ship of fun and excitement this summer.
Disgusting.
But I'm also going to give you the resources that get you off of that ship and onto the ship of, I don't know, success and fun stuff, right? So please choose appropriately. All right, that's all I got for you today. I got nothing more, all right? Do you feel a little bit better about the material after these 2 days for this chapter? There should be no one that fails this test. No one, right? You all know, other than tomorrow's class, you now know everything in this chapter that I will test you on other than tomorrow's stuff. You also know what it's going to look like. The test is going to be a combination of yesterday's worksheet and today's worksheet. And then the stuff tomorrow. I'm going to put 1 question. And as always, it's a geometry test, so I will have, it's a geometry test, so I'm going to have a proof. Okay? This will be your first proof that I will give you nothing other than the given and the proof. Okay? I will put a very easy proof that all of you can solve and all of you can prove. You just have to write it up correctly. There will be nothing tricky about this first proof. Next chapter, a different story. But for the first proof on your own, this chapter 3 is where I do that, then it will be a very easy proof. Right? So be confident that you can do the proof tomorrow or Friday when you try it. All right, any questions? All right, Micah? Well, then I will purposely put a 0, all right? All right, go ahead and get started on your worksheet for those of you that have not started on it. All right, e-learners, if you have any questions, make sure you send me an email. And the same thing goes for you. I have not received too much feedback from you, so I assume that means you got this. If that's not the case, make sure you send me a message and let me help you. Well,